Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Philip Ford, and I get asked a lot of time, how's the Russian economy doing? So I thought I'd give you an update. You know, how's it doing under sanctions? And it's doing really well. I will tell you the negative things first, and then I'll tell you the positives. So the downsides have been self-inflicted. I mean, a lot of Russian people started to panic, started to sell the rubles and buy dollars. That had a knock-on effect of devaluing the ruble, created inflation, and forced the central bank, the Russian central bank, to increase interest rates to about 20%. So that had a huge knock-on effect for consumers, for businesses, for inflation, just people panicking. If they wouldn't have lost their heads and just done business as normal, done things as normal, there wouldn't have been any issues. Now, that is the main downside. Obviously, you want to go on holiday. It became very expensive in rubles, ridiculously expensive to go overseas on holiday. So people stayed at home. That's a positive. They spent the money in Russia. They didn't go overseas. The other downside is, I think the Europeans and the British and the Americans shot themselves in the foot. People are getting the visas, but not in the numbers that they used to get. So they made it difficult for people to get visas so they could travel. So again, they either stayed at home and spent the money in Russia, or they went to places like Thailand or Asia where the Russians were welcomed. So yeah, so I think Russia has turned the negatives into positives. Now, what has been the upsides? What have been the positive sides? Well, a lot of things are now produced in Russia. I mean, the amazing cheeses. They used to import the cheeses from Italy. Amazing wines. They've developed a lot more the agriculture. So there's a lot more agriculture going on in Russia. They're producing a lot more food. And not only are they producing a lot more food, they're exporting a lot more food. They're exporting billions. So I think the Russian economy has done really well. It has full employment. Anybody who wants a job can get a job. A lot of people criticize the salaries are low. So if you're going to work in, outside of Moscow, and you're going to work in a supermarket or you're going to work in McDonald's, you're going to get about 35,000 rubles, about $400 a month. In central Moscow, you're going to get about $800-900 a month if you work in a supermarket or McDonald's, and that's going to be starting. That's going to be a starting salary. I'm seeing advertisements in Spa. I'm going to go have my breakfast soon in Spa, great place, very affordable, and they're advertising 110,000-120,000 rubles for shop assistants. That's about per month about $1,300-1,400. I'm seeing them type of jobs advertised. So it's got full employment. If Moscow was a country, it'd probably be the richest country in the world based on purchasing power parity. So yeah, everything is hunky-dory, everything is going well. Just while I'm speaking, I just think I'll do a panorama. This is where I live in Moscow, beautiful park called Under Sanctions. So yeah, I hope you got a view. I'm going to walk back now, walk back in the other direction. So everything is really doing very well, and the ruble has now started to recover. So I think people have got used to it. Russians are very good. Once they lose their heads, once they start to panic, they're very good at recovery. They're used to a lot of financial crises in the past, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, when all the savings were wiped out. They're used to adversity, they get over it very quickly and they adapt. So I think now the panic is over. Now we're talking about peace, we're talking about sanctions being lifted, people having a lot more confidence in the Russian economy. A lot of foreigners, a lot of Westerners under shared value visas are moving to Russia, so that's going to have a positive effect. You're going to have a lot more people, you know, telling the truth, saying how safe Russia is, how good the education system is, how good everything is. So, you know, a lot of positives I see on the on the horizon. And what you've got to understand is you know, Russia has all the oil, all the gas. It's, as I've just said, all the agricultural land. I mean, it's producing huge amounts of food. I think it exported $40 billion worth of food last year. You know, 20 years ago, it used to import 20% of its food. So, yeah, it's doing really well. It's got all the rare earth metals. It's got, you know, everything, gold, iron ore. You know, and everybody's educated. Everybody's been to university. It's got a highly skilled workforce. So yeah, so that's my take on sanctions, on the war. I think in the short term it was a little bit negative, a few problems. In the medium term, I think Russia will boom. I think it's done really, really well out of sanctions, because you know, a lot more things are being produced in Russia. A lot more things are being manufactured in Russia. And, you know, now they've got Luhansk almost, they've got Donbass almost. You know, that's got a lot of rare earth metals. You know, it's got all the black soil. You know, that's what the West wanted. That's what the West was after. You know, and obviously it's looking like Russia will keep that, but you know, I could be wrong. But you know, so I think anybody who's thinking about coming to Russia, don't worry about the economy, don't worry about the crime. There is no crime. Nobody's ever tried to steal my iPhone or burgle my flat or take my bicycle. So yeah, guys, come to the best city in the world, Moscow. Come to the best country in the world, Russia. Hope to see you here for a few beers. Drop me a line. Cheers, guys. Thank you.